Sunday's showdown between the Browns and 49ers wasn't just about the scoreboard. It was more about the numbers behind the plays. Rookie Shedeur Sanders flashed promise with a 34-yard strike, while Brock Purdy showed steady efficiency with both passing and a rushing touchdown. But turnovers, field position, and drive analytics told the real story of San Francisco's 26-8 win. In this episode, we break down the data, compare quarterback performance, and reveal the hidden metrics that shaped the game. Let's dive right into the numbers. Brock Purdy, 16 completions off of 29 attempts. Shedeur Sanders, 16 completions off of 25 attempts. Brock Purdy, 55% completion rate. Shedeur Sanders, 64% completion rate. Brock Purdy, 168 yards passing. Shedeur Sanders, 149 yards passing. Yards per attempt. Brock Purdy, 5.8 yards an attempt. Shedeur Sanders, 6 yards an attempt. Passing touchdowns. Brock Purdy threw 1. Shedeur Sanders threw 1. Passing touchdown. Interceptions. Both quarterbacks had 0. Brock Purdy took 1 sack with a loss of 7 yards, and Shedeur Sanders took 3 sacks with a loss of 34 yards. Brock Purdy also rushed for a touchdown. Now, this chart is interesting. I want you guys to look at it. So the circles are the 49ers drives. The squares are the Browns drives. So if you look at this, that bottom line, your x-axis, that's your drive sequence, and your y-axis going up, that's the yards to the opponent's end zone at the start of the drive. So if you look at this chart right here, you can see all of the 49ers, look at their scoring drives, okay? They're starting at 40 yards or less to get into the end zone. 40 yards or less. Now look at the difference on the Browns drives. Look how far they had to go on every drive, okay? So when you look at that, they had the one where the Browns went 90 yards to score a touchdown. So field position was key. Okay, now let's get into the quarterback comparison of all the rookies who have started this year. Okay, so I want to look directly at the numbers. Let's start with, you got Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Dillon Gabriel, J.J. McCarthy, Tyler Shough, Shedeur Sanders. All right, so right out the gate, I'm going to look at yards per start. Okay, you have Tyler, who has 276 yards a game, and that's aided by a huge passing game that he just had. Next, you have Jackson Dart averaging 202, Cam Ward 200, Shedeur Sanders 179. Then you have Dillon and JJ 156, 154. Now, QB rating. Jackson Dart, 93%. Shedeur Sanders, 90%. Dillon Gabriel, 80. Cam Ward, 75. And J.J. McCarthy, 57. You have Tyler at 81. Now, again, just looking directly at the numbers, guys. Looking at the touchdowns, you have Shedeur Sanders with 2 and with 1 interception. I'm just looking directly at his performance. If you really want to compare him to these guys that went ahead of him, and you can clearly see that Shedeur is not way off. In some categories, he's actually better. And keep in mind, Shedeur Sanders was not prioritized to be game ready like many of the other rookie quarterbacks. No excuse, but it is what it is. We all know that. But now he's starting to finally get those in-game game speed reps. The one thing I do want to point out when we look at the sacks. So sacks per game. Cam Ward leads the pack with 4 sacks a game. Everyone else is right around that 3 sacks a game. Shedeur's averaging 2 because he took 1 in his first start and he took 3 in the start against the 49ers. But even him having that 3, that's right in line with where the rookies are. So again, the numbers don't lie. Now this right here, if Jerry Jeudy was consistent with showing his level of frustration when he's not on the same page with a Browns quarterback, then it would make sense. But the fact that we've seen you go through many quarterbacks in a Browns uniform and have yet to show this level of frustration in the game on the sideline, especially recently with Dylan Gabriel and you guys playing,